Ender of Rumsey, you have transgressed against your god and your fellow man. You have been a willing vessel for the fall.
Back to where it all began.
I can't do this just yet.
Wretched sight. So many drowned Oriathans cast into undeath. You freed them from their torment, and I'm sure they'd be grateful. Here, that little something extra I were talking about. Though the sea takes away, it gives back in greater measure. While you be skulking about, I've managed to do a bit of hunting on my own. Got a hole full of baubles and trinkets here, which I managed to, procure. Take a look. You might find something particularly naughty to help you on your life's voyage. Whalem Roth. Here, let me share something I remember from your granddaddy's stories. No sooner had the others turned in fear from the great white Leviathan did Whalem load the ballista with his final harpoon. And right then he vowed to sea and sky that he and he alone would be the one to finally kill this bastard son of the Brine King. The ballista fired and the harpoon smote that creature right between the ribs as it made to dive back under the angry sea. Thick clouds of blood bloomed beneath the waves, roses flowering in the black water, and impossible though it seemed, the already shadowed ocean grew darker still. He used the bones of the great beast to reinforce the hull of his ship, the Black Crest. Old Rottooth, he's a true legend, a real pirate hero. I can only hope one day my own stories will reach his ears and make him proud of the granddaughter he had to leave behind. Yeah, I knew Tarkley, if you catch me drift. He's got no time for his old bunkmate these days, though. Too gaga-eyed over his lost cause of a fishwife Nessa. Time was, Tarkley and I would smuggle all about the coast of Oriath. Oh, good days they was. Sweet with rum, nothing but the wind and salt in our faces, freedom in our hearts, and the law on our tails. But I could tell he were getting ready to make feet for children's stockings with me, so I cut him loose. Not a spark's chance under the ocean the dreaded Lily Roth's gonna wind up swelling like some drowned carcass. Still, nice to work with that bugger one more time, just for old time's sake, you know? That scallywag. I reckon Bestel thinks I'd be the kind of lass who'll bed down with any sort of rascal. Not too far off, I guess. He is rather sweet, but not the most comely of figures. Actually, he kind of reminds me of my grandfather, Waylon Roth. A poet and scoundrel extraordinaire he be. Bestel's but spittle from the mouth of old Rottooth Roth. Ahem. Bust my blind cheek, said the sailor to the doxy. She sports her dairy treats afar and relishes her moxie. But a fire ship will sink the broken neath the ocean waves. Tip nutmegs a deadly token sends captains to their graves. You have the look of a wayfarer about you. I've a few bits and bobs in the hold that I managed to salvage from Oriath. Might be you're in the market for a little insurance for the road. The sort of nautical charm or a quaff of tonic be providing. Go on, have a look-see. And if you're thinking to trade, I reckon we can come to a fair arrangement. Time and tide wait for no man.
Despite your best efforts, Beast Slayer, a splinter of hope remains. The very seed that brought my beast into existence. The Dark Ember. Never again shall it birth a life so magnificent as the beast. Yet a residue of that power still lingers. Enough to give us a fighting chance against the ravenous Kitava. How do we obtain this Dark Ember? 3 hearts were silenced. 3 hearts must sing again, one last time. In that final flickering of life, our savior's seed shall be born. All I need are 3 fine souls with which to stoke the flames. Chevron of Umbra, Inquisitor Maligaro, Doldre the Dark Tongue. 3 spirits of near unfathomable resilience and vigor, freed with the beast's final exhalation. So let us begin the harvest. Chevron has come home to Axiom. We shall give her the warm welcome she sincerely deserves. If she is to be of any use to us, the Umbra's spirit must be wrenched from her mortal manifestation and lashed to our greater cause. That is your task. For my part, I shall negotiate the terms of her cooperation. With a tragic kiss and lasting embrace, her essence shall pass into me as if she were a sweet breath from the mouth of my lover. It is a sacrosanct sacrifice for all involved. Thankfully for you, all I ask is that you do what you clearly do best. Kill. Ambition is the bane of mortality. It was through ambition that we gods transcended the thick mud and thin blood of our mundane birthrights. Ambition that drove us to sustain our divine selves through the subjugation of others. Chevron's soul is made up of 1 part ambition and 2 parts raw, unbounded passion. Such a volatile spark shall burn briefly and brightly, in even the most deadened of hearts. I shall put this simply, for in truth, everything comes down to the simple act of planting a seed in the ground. The gods are rising because you slew the one creature that prevented them from doing so. Your name for it is the Beast. It was I who planted the seed in the rich soil beneath Highgate, who nurtured it, who watched it bloom into maturity even as I succumbed to its mollifying powers. We gods, we were driven into slumbering darkness, to dream away eternity whilst the gentle beast watched over us. I would desire that we return to that blissful state, but my brothers and sisters of deism shall never submit to banishment. They have tasted freedom once more, and they shall not let go of this world until it is pried from their cold, dead hands. The beast was never a cruel master. It didn't want to destroy, to corrupt, to terrorize. It simply existed to exist. I made it that way. Unfortunately, in neglecting to provide it with ambition, I made it vulnerable to the ambitions of others. Queen Atziri and Doriani, Emperor Chittis and Malachi. Others even before them. I created a beast that would free humanity from the tyranny of the gods. Yet all I really did was provide the perfect tool with which humanity could tyrannize itself. Remember, humanity needs us.
I've never been one for history class.
Now there's a pair of eyes I could never forget. If the tales are true, those peepers of yours have seen all the wonders of Wraeclast by now. And a few things they likely wish they hadn't. Oh, and no need for us to speak of Oriarth. My ears are brimful with the sorrows these wretched companions of yours have been spilling. Now, I'm sure you've noticed that Lion Eyes Watch has seen better days. Our once bubbling township has, alas, become a brooding quagmire of gloom and despair. I blame the unrelenting weather. As you know, I am both a humanitarian and a strong believer in the soul-sustaining power of story. Back when I was still captain of the Merry Gull, many days at sea afforded me time to work on my thespian aspirations. I wrote a theatrical epic, a one-man show entitled Cedric and the Buxom Stranger. I sealed the manuscript inside a roll of oiled leather and stashed it in the hold for safekeeping. Perhaps you could salvage it for me from that tidal island upon which my poor ship came to rest. Who knows? Maybe we can bring some joy back to Lion Eyes Watch with a bit of live entertainment. Now there's a sorry tale, more miserable than any dirge I've ever heard. Nessa's gone, wandered off into the night, muttering to herself about dancing to his ditty. No, I didn't go after her. In truth, she was gone when I woke up the next morn. I only imagined she'd be muttering, you see, on account of the murmuring she's been making these past few weeks. Always the same, about him and his song, whoever in damnation he is. Lily Roth, granddaughter of the legendary Rottooth Roth. Oh, apologies if I seem a little giddy. It's not any old day you get to meet marine royalty. I mean, you know how I feel about pirates and all, but the Roths have as much in common with those scurvy sea rats as a shark does with a goldfish. Lily has her granddaddy's blood in her veins. It's plain for all to see. Look at the luster in her eyes, the ruddy blush of her skin. That there's a pirate princess, and no mistake. Yes, we live in curious times indeed. A time when old stories are being birthed, muling, and puking into our world of dirt and blood. It's all a bit inspiring, really. Hence, I've written a little something. Ancient anecdotes now wake from their beds, looming in our fears, towering above our heads. Age-old lusts and bygone greeds, walking and reeking as humanity bleeds. Rivers of history, lakes of blood, the gods stand upon us as we cower in the mud. You won't find a sailor that doesn't whisper a quiet prayer to the Brine King before casting off. In fact, under the maddening radiance of a full moon, the more superstitious captains would drown some poor slave or failed mutineer just to keep old Tsoagoth happy. No, that wasn't a sneeze. That's a fish god's old Asmerian name. It's considered foul luck to speak it on board a ship. A keel-hauling offence. You'll not find a more renowned pirate as Whalem Rocktooth Roth. In times when Fairgraves was still a whelp earning his sea legs, Rocktooth was prowling the Strait of Orioth in his ship, the Black Crest. It's said he built it himself, lining its hull with the bones of some great sea beast he slew with nothing but a harpoon and a bottle of rum. Never was there a more nimble, more ferocious vessel, like that Leviathan's spirit still lived and breathed in its timbers. No one sighted Rocktooth for 20 years or more, but I know where the Black Crest is. The ship graveyard, no less. Seems that Whalem Roth might have had his last meal with Lady Mirage.
My apologies, Exile, but I'm waiting for someone. Perhaps you could attend to the needs of the others here. Stay out of trouble.
First we hear that Orioth has lost its bloody mind, and then you turn up. Doesn't take a scholar to work out how these two events might be connected. I don't know what's going on out there, and I probably wouldn't understand it if I saw it with my own two eyes. What I do know is this. The world we knew, it's gone. Now we have to do our damnedest to make sure we don't go with it. Nessa. I saw her one night, running out across the coast, headed in the direction of the mudflats. Called out to her, but she didn't even turn her head. Maybe she couldn't hear me. Maybe she didn't want to. I don't bloody know. I tried to run after her, but she'd vanished into the darkness before my feet had barely touched the sand. So I tracked her, all the way to the mudflats, and that's when her tracks, they just stopped. No sign of meeting someone or something. No sign of a struggle. It's like one moment she was running and the next, gone. Look, I've heard some things about what you've done. Things that beg a belief. Now you can do this. Please. Find Nessa. Bring her back to us. I wonder how much Lily squeezed out of those refugees from Orioth. Yes, she did risk her life and ship to save them. But I knew the Lily of old, a damn fine smuggler. And that Lily never did a good deed that didn't also turn a profit. I had a life before Lion Eye's watch. Not much of one by some people's standards, but it was good enough for me. Lily and I, we'd smuggle a bit of booze to keep our purses full. We were good at it, too. Made us a fine partnership, her quick mind and my steady nerves, right up until the day she left me drunk and trussed on Penance Quay. By the time the blackguards unwrapped their present, she was halfway to Trathus. That's how I ended up here. Yes, it smarts a bit to look at her, but what right have I to say where the flotsam finally washes up? Never took much stock in the stories Lily told. Didn't sit right. Those full moon sacrifices her and her ilk would do out on the open water. But now, in light of everything, I'm obliged to reconsider. If it meant Nessa might be spared the attentions of that wretched Brine King, I'd even be inclined to slit a mutineering throat or two myself. Stay sharp out there.
Why, hello, stranger. I am Faustus, the captain of the fair Maryline. Consider me your access to the wealth of Wraeclast. There's not a single market I can't reach. You've got currency, they've got currency, and thus I shall be your most esteemed facilitator, for a small fee, of course. Awful business what happened to Orioth. Terrible, just terrible. I was lucky, safely out at sea with my crew. I hope those responsible are held accountable. Barring those with whom I have ongoing business, of course. I suspect they were merely in the wrong place at the wrong time. Can't blame someone for having rotten luck.
Farewell.
How's business?
Still alive. Stay sharp out there.
Time for an encore. Do this just yet.
Approach.
Come here, quickly! You seem sane enough to understand. Look to the wall ahead and know that I speak the truth. Creatures from another world are invading Wraeclast, and we'll all be swarmed under soon enough. Unless we do something. Take my gift of flame. It is our greatest weapon against the Hiveborn. Ah! Your body has survived my gift. Now, test your new power. Wield the flame against that wall. By the Dreamer, you did it! You wield the flame well enough. Welcome to the war. I am Aelith, founder of the Keepers of the Flame. I must return to our monastery for now to attend my duties, but I will rejoin you again, soon. When you encounter the Hiveborn, I will be there. You will not be alone in this fight. They come from another world, a barren world, and they crave our living land and sky, our unbroken sun. They cannot be allowed to gain a foothold here, or they will poison Wraeclast the same way they poisoned themselves. Drive them back.
I can't do this just yet.
yes, it's all here. Act 1, Scene 1. Along the shoreline, the beach grass sways, a blazing sun sinks 'neath sparkling bays. Oh, strange be the night when the drowned dead rise, and a pale moon ascends upon cold skies. The stranger still is lost to me, those silken pillows upon which I lay at sea. Moody, atmospheric, not as funny as I remember, but I'm sure it gets better in Act 2. Regardless, you have my thanks. Please, take something for your efforts. And next time you're in town, do come and see the show. I'll leave your name at the door. If I can salvage a door from somewhere, that is.
Do I hear the clink of markers in your pockets? Claimed from one of your victims. Or perhaps the victim of one of your victims. It is impossible to know how far back that chain could unwind, but now they belong to you. And you seem to be in good health. To the victor, etc. It seems you are the one I have patiently waited for. Yes, you will do just fine. Take a marker in your hand, speak these words into your mind. The ring binds us all, and to all within I shall do no harm. I will see you soon. I'll be here when you need me.
The submerged passage. It's underwater again, and there's no sign of those shells you used to drain it. Fortunately, there's another way to reach Axiom Prison and beyond. A path I scouted out myself, through what was once the fetid pool, and then along the ridge above it. Problem is, whatever's brought those Karui revenants to life has also sealed the pool entranceway with a bloody great totem. Stay sharp out there.
I can't do this just yet.
Focus my will. You made it. It is good to see you. Welcome to our monastery. Here we spend our lives training ourselves to defend the sanctity of Wraeclast. And here, we protect our greatest weapon, the Genesis Tree. Ah, you've already engaged the enemy. This horned skull bears their essence. We can give this to the Genesis Tree to cultivate her growth. I will attach it to her. Bring me more like this if you find them. I founded the Keepers of the Flame long ago. This place is our haven, a sacrosanct location where we care for the Genesis tree. The Keepers serve, and are served, by the benevolent Dreamer. His teachings and gifts keep us on the path of discipline and truth. When our minds transcend our mortal coil, the benevolent Dreamer guides us with visions and portents. Though it is not our only purpose, long has he prepared us for the war against the Hiveborn. I live half in dream. To you that may sound strange, but truth lies beyond the wall of sleep. It is the very foundation of our faith. Dreams are more real to me now than the waking world is to you. I live half. Be ever vigilant. I walked alongside a hooded figure, picking our way along a high ridge. He pointed to the stinking valley. I walked alongside a hooded figure, picking our way along a high ridge. He pointed to the stinking valley below, where vast ribs pulsed with the beat of a mountainous heart. He asked me what I saw. I told him that I saw half of a body, of sorts, exposed to the elements. Both terrifying, yet vulnerable. He nodded. The mother births flesh, but flesh is weak. It can be burned, seared away. She wants her children to remain one with her, but children must leave home to thrive. The Dreamer once knew her before the nightmare she became, but that is only a memory of sorrow. She will try to take our flesh, he warned. We must not let her.
Can't do this just yet.
To me, the King of Brian, and he wants me to be. Oh God, please. I don't know how I'm doing this, nor if I may again. Help me, help us before. Approach.
Teach you the laws of war.
My spirit is spent. I can't do this just yet.
Tukohama.
I believe in traveling light.
The soil wants for your blood no more. I am Sin, thief of virtue, and it is mine to take what I will from the defeated, to make a gift of it to the victorious. Alas, your mortal frame cannot withstand the unfettered fire of deism. It would turn your blood to mist and scorch your precious flesh black. So choose modestly and choose wisely, for there is much more at stake here than your little hopes and dreams.
That was the Tukohama? Best not mention this to the Karui.
Hello.
You've seen Nessa. Talk to her. Well, that's more than I dared hope for, truth be told. This change she's going through, this curse the so-called Brine King has put on her, it can be broken. I know it. You've got to keep going. Follow her trail before it gets any colder. Make your way along the coast, the ship graveyard, even Mervale's cave if you must. By my reckoning, this king's not the sort to venture far from his briny bed. You've killed the Karui war god. Can you kill a god? Look, I can't even begin to understand what you've just done. Vestal will be able to put our gratitude into words more fitting of a legend. Me, I'll work with what I know. A solid reward for a damn fine deed. Farewell. Axiom Prison has been fairly quiet since he saw fit to retire its warden. Afraid that's no longer the case. Shavron of Umbra, the very witch that made Brutus the man he was. I don't know if she's a ghost, a ghoul, or some other death-scorning creature I've never heard of, but she's up there. tinkering away with her black arts and twisting nature around her bony old fingers. Honestly, I don't care why she's come back or what cruelty she's brewing up there. She's a boil that needs lancing before the infection spreads. Farewell.
Good tidings to you.
Still working on that poem. You do know it's cruel to make jests of an addled mind, don't you? Nessa, alive, and turned into a bloody cod? Huh! That said, you've never been wrong before. So seems like I'm going to have to stare this fanciful tale in its fishy face. She talked of the Brine King, did she? Now there's a name what can trouble the breeches of even the most jaded of poets. Though Mervale might be dead, the sea still has its seductive songs. And this time it's a big, briny baritone doing the wailing. Screams, howls and booms of unholy intonation. The shriek and clank of some unfathomable apparatus, and the pervading stench of scorched flesh and boiling blood. That's Axiom Prison, now that Our Lady of Umbra has come home to roost. As a poet, I have nothing against a little creativity. Yet while I might mould word and wonder, Chevron's art tends towards the visceral, flesh, bone, and soul. Artistic pursuit is the loftiest of callings, but in this instance, I believe some rigorous criticism is in order. Still composing that?
There'll be time for that soon enough. I can't do this just yet. I do love the stink of victory. There's a lady in a tower, but this is no fairy tale.
I can't do this just yet.
In the court of the goddess, every man and woman is deemed worthy of redemption. Though you might be shackled by the tribulations of the past, the trials ahead offer you both freedom and glory. The future is yours, if you're bold enough to reach out for it. Belief is the strongest metal of them all.
I can't do this just yet.
work. I shall not suffer this humiliation again!
Always a pleasure, milady.
And so it begins. My ethereal veins now run with dark ambition. Let's turn that trickle into a torrent. Let's harvest ourselves a Grand Inquisitor. Just as Chevron's spirit chose to return to comfortable climes, Maligaro's essence once again dwells in his very own chamber of sins. Though I hasten to add that Maligaro's sins are not my sins. I prefer transgressions of a more natural order than does he. I'd carry you to Frisia if I could, yet I expended too much of myself when I snatched you from the jaws of Kitava. You will need to find your own path, as will I. Make the journey, and please survive it. We too have much work left to do. And so it begins.
This world is dull and ugly. An imperfect feast of sights, feelings, and smells that repulse and depress. Yet amongst this deformity I have found my sublime calling. This world may be abominable, but to an extent I can be its savior. I have been gifted with a special sight. Before me lies a blueprint of perfection, a kind of hidden beauty within skin, muscles, tendons, and organs. With a tempered hand and a sharpened blade, I will refashion, reshape, and rebirth this world. My obligation is immense, something that will, in all likelihood, consume my life. I cannot rest. My calling energizes me. Such is an artist's curse and compulsion.
Can't do this just yet. I believe in traveling light. I can't do this just yet.
At last, your thirst is quenched. Good souls were hard enough to come by without that parched old goat drinking his fill. You have done humanity a noble service.
Ah, and now I stink of goat.
Who'd have thought those bleating bastards would go and find religion, eh? Now there's nothing quite so sure to spoil a man's appetite than an ecclesiastical debate come supper time. Yet this goatman god, this Aberoth, seems fair determined to mix his morsels with his spiritual enlightenments. To put no finer point on it, when the goatmen find him a soft pink human or two as divine sacrifice, he eats them, meat, soul and all. Well, that's what the legends say. The old goat's turned up his tootsies, has he? Oh, wait! I feel a poem coming on.
Through the bleating flock, our exile did wade, over hoof and horn and goat blood spray, until at last an audience with old King Billy, or the Cloven One, or Aberoth, and other names just as silly. Dine with me, friend, old Billy did growl. Feed me your soul, feed me it now. Our exile just smiled and gutted that goat, so that not one more soul would get stuffed down his old throat.
Honestly, you wouldn't believe how hard it is to find a good rhyme for goat exile.
tidings to you? Time and tide wait for no man.
Good work clearing another path through Axiom Prison. I'm starting to think those stories I've heard about you might be true. With the road to the Frisian forest clear again, I trekked through to the forests beyond to see if the strangeness we're seeing on the coast is also happening inland. What I saw nearly froze my heart solid. The animals there, poor wretches, overtaken by some sort of parasite. As close as I can reckon, they're like termites, burrowing into flesh and mind instead of wood. If I'm right, there'll be a nest somewhere. And a queen. If you can find it, destroy it. Those parasites aren't something we want to see around here anytime soon. With the road to the free... Stay sharp out there.
What a lovely day!
There'll be time for that soon enough.
What?
I can't do this just yet. I can't do this just yet. I believe in traveling light.
Release this land to the will of its true children. The Asmeri believed that, one day, this world of ours would collapse under the weight of Wraeclast's offspring. A frightening thought, and thankfully, a mistaken one.
I will never get the smell out of my clothes.
Another damn god, you say? Yeah, that figures. A primitive deity from a primitive time, crawling up out of the dirt with a view to enslaving us all with its creeping, bloody offspring. I think we could all do without gods like that. So here, take something for the road ahead. The way things are going, it'll be a tough one. Farewell.
What now? you going?
I can't do this just yet. Spirit is spent. I can't do this just yet.
Brand King, his time has almost come. Then hope will be... I will be gone. Please, take the Black Flag. It once fluttered from the mast of the Black Crest, Wraeclast ship. Throw it into the flames of the beacon. It's your only chance of reaching me, of turning this tide. The king can't keep secrets like this from me any longer. It's just the way of things. Find me, please, before...
Local, come here.
You've done well.
I bet a yokel like yourself would be eager to see some explosions. Never mind why we're blowing things up just yet. We'll get to that. I've gone ahead and marked the locations of likely treasures and dangers. Consider me magnanimous. You can choose what we uncover, since I'm eager to see what kind of luck you possess. I'll wait back here, as far back as possible. Lay out a chain of devices. We'll make a mighty fine display. During the failed rebellion, I once called out with all my heart. An arrow was arcing through the air. My arm was pinned, and I knew I couldn't get out of the way in time. I was a dead woman. But luck answered my earnest request. Another arrow, also on a murderous path, hit the first in midair, and both were diverted, landing on either side of me instead. That was the first time I knew that chance itself was a real force in this world. I didn't say that. You must have misheard. Never heard of gods, but I know I wouldn't put my faith in them, even if they came to my doorstep with an army. I've already solidified my beliefs where they belong. I'm all for the idea of King's March. I just don't like the name. For now, I'll support it from afar. Good luck. Try to go as far as you can with the detonation cord. Further! Keep going! Away from me. All placed. Shall we light it up? I should also mention... this might unearth monsters. You can take them.
I can't do this just yet.
Go get him, local! You did it! You did it! Most of the locals I grabbed for this job don't last long. Yes, I could have been more upfront about the danger. But you see, people don't take the job when I mention that the upturned ground is full of deadly creatures. It's a mighty awful land you've got here, local. I wonder anyone survives at all. Though that does speak to why I'm here in the first place. But you'll have to ask Danig about that, if you find him. By the way, if you enjoy a bit of risk, I've got a few things I've unearthed that might be of interest to you.
finish up here. See you again soon.
Now that we've a chance to talk without explosives and monsters around us, I'm Gwennon. Luck is my game, but it's no game. It's deadly serious. You have to believe you're going to win, or you won't. That's the nature of this life, understand? It is what you make of it. So when you gamble with me, know that it's your fault if you lose. You just didn't believe hard enough. Go well. Need something? I am honor bound to discover the fate of Medvid and the druids of the Broken Circle. They believed they could see into the future by peering into the past. Hypothetically, that's a power I'd very much like to have for reasons of chance and profit. But I'm not sure I want it to be true. If Medvid and his nature mystics were right, and time truly is a circle, aren't we all doomed to repeat our lives over and over for eternity? If that is the truth, then there is no luck. No chance, no human will. All life is just a stage play repeating over and over. I don't think I like that notion. His final fate was unknown, but I do know he cast off his peaceful ways and trained with 2 powerful axes after he arrived here. We're not fools. We see that the dead rise here on Wraeclast. If Medvid is still out there, he'll be extremely dangerous. Conserve your luck, and use it against him if you find him. Good luck!
Good tidings to you. You've got the black flag from your grandfather's ship. Ah, the Black Crest were the most formidable ship to ever sail the seas. Yet now it's a hulk of rotted wood and bone, mouldering away in that forsaken graveyard. But why is it there? You don't think that Mervyn? Never. I wouldn't even think it. No Roth would ever fall victim to that tentacled sea hag. Wayland must be out there somewhere. Yeah, castaway, that's it. For now, you'll be off to safe passage to the Brine King's Reef, and there ain't no ship going to get you there faster than the Black Crest. So as the only Roth present and accounted for right now, I hereby give you permission to burn that flag and the beacon. Might as well see if there's some truth in that old legend about it resurrecting the wrecks of Roth's past and other less notable vessels. Maybe when this is all done, I'll take the Black Crest for myself and sail out in search of me grandfather. He's too hardy an old barnacle to kill, so he'll be out there, somewhere. Yeah, I know the Brine King. What pirate doesn't? Drown me fair share of mutineers under the full moon. To keep the old king's slumber when storms threaten, you see. If he's been roused from the depths, it'd be nothing but ill tidings for those of us with air in our lungs. He'll be getting back to raping and eating us ocean-going folks soon enough, stealing wombs in which to spawn his slithering offspring. Aye, that blasphemy is out there somewhere right now, I'd wager. And to think there'd still be folks needing transport from Oriath. More commissions to be had. But a lecherous sea god, now, that complicates things. Time and tide wait for no man.
What? Come to hear your pub.
Still alive, are we? If Nessa thinks you can use that old rag of a banner to rustle up a phantom ship, who am I to argue? I don't need to understand how she comes back to us, only that she can. You've seen Nessa. Talk to her. Stay sharp out there.
What have you got for me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes? Old salty Sargoth, pickled in a thick brine of ignominious carnality. Vanity was Sargoth's downfall, and I think he grew his shell just to shield himself from the shame of it all. It's time he sailed out to that reef refuge of his, cracked his carapace, and dined on the divine meat beneath. When I first met Sorgoth, he was a seafaring chieftain, the beloved leader of a prosperous and sprawling fisher tribe. It was the curse of legacy that made him into the blasphemous Brine King, an endless madness of propagation and disappointment, all in the vain hope of recreating himself. Fishwife after fishwife he took, and every one of them spawned a monster. A truly noble king would have surrendered his kingdom to cleaner blood. Alas, although Sorgoth had many fine qualities, generosity was not one of them. Farewell.
There'll be time for that soon enough.
I love hunting. The first ones look upon this capture with pride, Exile. You hunt well. Do not worry, little beast. We are friends now.
I can't do this just yet.
Opponents.
You are captured. An exhilarating hunt, Exile. Now, it is time for Einar to go to Einar business.
So you're the shite that's gone and summoned me to the beacon, eh? Damn it all. Says rules, and now I'm bound to you. The legendary Wraeclast Roth, captain of the Black Crest. Cursed to be the undead slave of some lowly outcast by the looks of it. You got an ass for a brain in a tick skull of yours? Of course I'll ferry you to the Prime King's bloody reef. I've been wanting to discharge this accursed duty and get back to me afterlife. It's not right. Not natural being above water without a beating heart in me chest. So get yourself aboard and be quick about it. Don't think I'm going to be bawling and chaining after your sorry ass once our journey to the reef is done. Right?
I've never dueled a king before.
Go find yourself a salty sovereign to the throne. Fool's errand, if you ask me. Old Briny will gut you like a fish, but at least with you dead in the water, I'll be free to get on with my own voyage. So off you go, matey. Lord of Salt and Scales, what we used to call him. They say when the gods got the boot from our lands, that monstrosity went to sleep down in the deep. Dreamed the kind of dreams that cause all sorts of guild abominations to rise up, to plague and hunt us for what he thinks we must have done to him. Was a time we got ordered to hunt them things near extinction, free the trade routes from old Briny's tyranny. Even so, not a sailor worth his salt who won't sacrifice a lousy deckhand or two by light of the full moon just to keep that overgrown crab slumbering in the Oriathan trench. If he's risen again, you bet your bloody ass we're all buggered.
Good tidings to you.
How you going? You've the deck of the mighty Black Crest under your feet, and old Wraeclast himself to man the helm. Well, I'll be a pirate's monkey, mate. You sure do know how to travel in style, Exile.
Good tidings to you. Time and tide wait for no man. Good tidings. Time and tide wait for no man.
There'll be time for that soon enough.
Still alive, are we?
Can't do this just yet.
What is your desire? Slaughter them all. Like a Dakara.
So strong. So dedicated. A man like you would never disappoint a lady in need. You're a gift, don't you see? A sumptuous feast for His Majesty on his wedding day. Really, we are both so touched by your generosity.
Born of ocean's mire, and death washed clean of dark desire. And thus the Lord of Salt and Scale sinks to feed the fishes that flit amongst the ruins of Soartha. Come and jest of his divine juices while they are all washed away. Farewell.
I'm sorry, Lady Nessa, but there was nothing I could do for you.
Hello.
How did you? You're still breathing. Bloody barnacles on me arse. You, my new friend, are a legend of the high seas to behold. I tell you what, I've already done my bit getting you here, but if you're looking to sail onto Frisia, me and the Black Crest would be honored to take ya. Hold on to your cockles, me hearty. The sea betwixt here and Frisia be the most ill-tempered there is. Here's hoping you've as much steel in your gizzard as you seem to in your heart. Cast off!
Greetings.
Clearly the old Brine King wasn't worth his salt. A fish out of water, if ever there was. But, I suppose, as someone wise once said, you can't teach a crab to walk straight. Too much. Yeah, be honest with you. All this fishy mirth is me just swimming around a tricky topic. Nessa. She's not coming back to us, is she? Can't say I'm surprised. But with everything she's been through, what she's become, I wish her all the happiness she can find out there in the sea. More than she could muster on this God's awful land of ours.
The Black Crest. She lives again. And me granddaddy. Still can't believe Mervale did that to him. The bilesome bitch. At least his spirit roams free once again. Wonder if he'll come and visit his favorite granddaughter one more time. Anyways, with the Brine King gone, you've done a fine thing for us seafarers. The waters won't no longer pander to the whim of an overgrown, bloody crustacean. And damn me if I don't feel a stirring in me loins. It's the ocean, calling, like a lust-starved lover. But for now, bugger it all. I'll be sticking about Lion Eye's watch until I get me a new ship. Don't feel sorry for me. With me womanly wiles as sharp as they are, I'll be having Tarkley help me pass the time. Just you see. Time and tide wait for no man.
I'd hoped for a chance to see Nessa again. Dreamed it like some poor bloody child believing in fairy tales. No, she's not one of us anymore. But at least she's not like Mervale either. Can't overlook a mercy like that. Who knows? Perhaps Nessa is better off this way. Not like this is much of a home to come back to anyway. Look, I know you did what you could. And for that, you'll always have my thanks. Stay sharp out there.